Hello and welcome to Monkey's Paper Palooza Craft Corner. Today we are going to start our three-part series on the My Monthly Hero kit for July 2018. This kit has a beautiful, almost country fair theme with red, white, and blue. So let's unbag our kit. In this kit you get your little pack with your accessories. And right now we have ink as well as some little postcards. And you get your stamp kit. And this is a very tall stamp kit. It's the same size as it usually is, it's going in a different direction. In the back, you get your dies. Included in this kit this month is a beautiful almost starburst frame die, as well as corresponding dies. So let's get this stuff out of our way and we'll start opening our packets. The first packet we're going to open is the little accessories. So this is the second time Hero Arts has added a reactive ink to their kits. First one being in April with the Spanish mice. But this one is in a red, white, and blue theme. So we got the red reactive, blue reactive, and then they added a white pigment ink because of course you can't do much with white other than a pigment. And then you get these wonderful vintage chipboard postcards. They are very thick, as you can see. They are definitely chipboard. It's not craft cardstock, it's chipboard. And in the back is this beautiful, almost vintage postcard theme on it. And like I said, let me see if I can get that thickness so you can see it. They're super thick, which is great. They're sturdy. And you get 3 of those. I'm not sure what we'll do with it, but we're going to try to do something with those. And all right, so let me zoom this out a little bit because like I said, this kit, the stamps are very tall. Usually they come out that way. This time they're tall. So I want to make sure I can get them in the frame for you. And they're wrapped in this beautiful satin red and blue ribbon, which correspond perfectly with the colors of the ink. So if you use your ribbons in your cards, these are perfectly made for those. All right, so let's open this up and we'll take a look at the stamp kit and the dies. Now, like I said, that stamp is huge because everything is up, and it got a hay theme on the back. And you can see you got these beautiful little color in, like the carousel and the airplane with the little flags you can alternate. You've got these wonderful little sayings that go with the carnival theme, as well as some corner banner and even a little fence here. You got little balloons, a hot air balloon, fun carnival sayings, and little carnival look themes. It's really fun. And look at, these are little silhouettes, which is fantastic too. So you have the option to color or do a silhouette, which is really fun. Because some people like coloring and some people just love working with the silhouettes. I prefer the silhouettes, but here's some of the little sayings too. Ticket to fun, you make the world go round, all kinds of fun stuff. Now, like I said, you get the hay, and then you get this beautiful little flag background on your kit. You can often use those for your cards also. Now, like I said, you get this wonderful frame die as well as the corresponding dies. So I'm going to cut those out and I'll show you what you get. So like I said, there's a lot of little corresponding dies. Go with some of the little tickets and the little silhouettes, etc. And it's really fun. I mean, I don't think there's anything that I wish they had put it. Maybe the cloud and the balloons. But other than that, I have to say that what they gave us for dies was wonderful. And you can even get a little firework too. It's really fun. And this is a frame. Look how big this frame die is. It's fantastic. And you can use it as a frame or just use the little ray inserts also as a decorative accent to your card. Now let me put everything we get in this kit out for you to see. You get those postcards, the dies, the stamps, and those 3 ink cubes. Plus the ribbon if you use that, and the backdrop. But I mean, it's great. I mean, everything they gave in this is really fun. It's perfect for the season coming up. So let's get into card number 1. So I want to show you how beautiful these reactive dies are, because a lot of people saying, what's so different between the regular stamp cubes? I find they're very juicy and pigmenty, just like the Distress. last time I used them, I really fell in love with them. But I did end up using the wrong kind of watercolor paper. So I'm going to say make sure you're using a good watercolor paper or even a Bristol Smooth, because they do work better with a smoother paper. So I'm going to start with putting some red on it. And I'm just going to blend it in. I am going to say before I start with this that I found the blue to be extremely juicy. I don't know if anybody else had that problem with theirs, but it came out really beautiful and dark. Not that that's a bad thing. It just, I was like, wow, compared to how smoothly the red went on, this was like, wow. It is a beautiful blue. I'm just going to say that. So to blend this in, I'm going to go back over with my red just to smooth out my blue edges, because it did go on so much smoother than that red did. And I just want to blend it better. And it almost makes a beautiful purple in the middle, which is really nice. So let me recover those. And then I'm going to take out my mini mister with my glitter mist. Oops, sorry about that little bump there. And I'm going to spray it down. So I did a quick above spray. Now I'm going to do it a little closer and try to get some speckles. And that's the fun thing. You get that wonderful reactive principle that you get with the distress inks and distress oxides. So it is reactive to water. So the word reactive is the key word. It is reactive. And you will get that texture that you get with those distress. So kudos to Hero Arts for pulling off making a reactive ink that is comparable to the distress. I mean, it's fantastic. Like I said, last time I used it, I found that they worked a lot better on better paper. So now that I heat set my panel, and you can sort of see that little glitter mist on there, it shimmered a little, I'm going to try to figure out how to make my silhouettes work on this card. Now, my panel is a little longer than the stamp, which if I had done it going vertical versus horizontal, I probably could have fit the whole stamp in. But I'm going to add the roller coaster one too. That way it fills the whole bottom of this card. I wanted the glow from the red. It looked like it's nighttime and the glow is coming from the carnival. So I wanted it to look like it was glowing where the lights are on. So I am using my black Archival ink from Ranger. That way I get this really intense black. I find sometimes my Memento makes it pretty black, but every once in a while I get a point where it's not as intense. So I wanted it to be a little bit more vibrant. So I used the Ranger one. So I'm going to line it up so that the other roller coaster is not in there, because I didn't want to duplicate the roller coaster. And I'm going to get all that almost country fair look into this card. And get that massive roller coaster on the side. I love how the reactive ink almost looks like it's a midnight sky. And I think that's a pretty good layer of the black. Now, while I have everything here in the black, I'm also going to put the Enjoy the Ride. And I'm going to make sure I lined it up pretty straight, and I actually did, which is awesome. And I'm going to also do that also in the Ranger Archival ink. And I'm going to do that one more, probably a couple more times. Just like the other one, I want to make sure it's really intense because we got some beautiful dark rich colors in the background. Isn't that nice? I love that. Just that is beautiful by itself. But we're going to add some more fun to this. Now you see I have this little line in the back, so I'm just going to trim that off so that it's not there. And I'm going to go over my edges with my Memento Tuxedo Black just to make sure I don't have any intense white edges. Because I'm going to put this on a black card form and I want it to look like it blends in the card. So I'm going to put a piece of craft foam under on the back side of this. That way I get a little dimension to this card since it's going to be very simple. And I'm going to adhere that to my card. There's that. Now I'm going to add a white card insert because black card, and it's very hard for people to write inside a card that's black because most people don't have anything other than blue and black ink for their things, so I always put a white insert if I have a black card. That was easy for them to write in. And I did not put a sentiment inside. Alright, so this is something new we have in the store. These are transparent jelly gems. They're so much fun. They're absolutely transparent. They do not have any foil on the back, so whatever color you have below them will shine through. So it's a great way to add little stars to a project, bubbles. I am looking at some transparent bubbles also, so hopefully those will come soon too. But I'm going to add these as little stars on this card, and they are just perfect. They're 4mm. They're not super small, though I am thinking of getting maybe some 3mm in them too. But you can see how they're not crystalline. They look like they're meshed into the background. It's that transparency. It pulls the color that's in the background. So if I would have put it on the red, they would have looked a little red. If I would have put it on purple, they would look purple. They're just wonderful. They're very hard to find. I looked everywhere to find transparent gems, and all I could do is find like colored. These were the first ones I ever saw in clear, and they're just so beautiful. I mean, even looking at them in the bag, they just sparkle, almost like diamonds. But it just gives it enough of a sparkle without being over the top. So I'm going to add a little bit more. And of course, I'm using my two-way zig glue, which I really love this glue pen. And there we go. I think that's enough. But look at them. See how they almost look blue? And then you get that little sparkle from the glitter spray, which you can see really good there. So for card number 2, I'm taking out my Archival ink one more time because I'm going to work with some watercolor. And the watercolor I'm going to do is with the reactive inks, because I want to show that you can't use them more than just as a background to blend and put specks of water on it. I want to show that you can actually watercolor with these also. So I'm going to brush out in some water, and I'm going to put a little bit on my surface. This is the wonders of having a craft mat or a glass mat like I have. You can put your ink right on your mat and go crazy. Now, if you don't have access to that, just even the little acetate your kit came in, just put it on top of it. As long as it's a non-porous surface, you can use it as a palette. So it's really fun. So I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm going to do the bottoms of this little, the Ferris wheel. I couldn't think what it was. A Ferris wheel. And I'm going to do the little cars in the blue, and then I'm going to top them in the red. Just keep it in that red, white, and blue theme. I'm just going to go over this. And you're going to see in a little minute that I really should have heat set the blue before I went on, because I smeared some of the ink on my hand. Ugh. It was still a little wet, but it's not going to matter because I am actually going to die cut this little Ferris wheel out now that I remember what it's called. It's been a long time since I've been at a fair. Sorry about that. So I'm going to do the blue in the center, and I think I should have done it reversed. I learned my mistake after I did it. The blue started bleeding in the red, and it kind of turned a little purple, so I ended up just washing them together, which is fine. It kind of gave it a little fun color in the middle. And I'm just going to touch up any little spots, plus put some little, they had a little dot connecting the cars to the Ferris wheel, so I'm going to fill in that also. I think that's good enough, so I'll clean my brush and let's go cut this out. Now for the background of this, I'm going to actually be using a piece of craft cardstock, and I'm going to color block some fun pieces of this kit on the background. In other words, I'm going to make myself a fun, colorful, almost background paper. We've done this in the past on a few other videos, and it is just such an easy and fun way to make a background. And I'm going to have some fun with these fireworks at the end, so stay tuned for that. So I'm just going in with some bamboo leaves, rhubarb stalk, tangelo, and Danube blue. And I'm just putting in some fun things, like I'm doing the fun here arrow, the fun pointing thing, all the little fun aspects, the ticket, and just even overlapping. I'm not even being concerned that they're overlapping. It's just for fun. It's for a background. Just, just fill the paper. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And there we go, putting that pointer finger. We all seen these at carnivals. They're so much fun. You see the tickets, the pointing, the arrows, the flashy signs. This kit had it all in it. It was really fun. And like I said, I'm not even concerning that it's overlapping. I'm just filling the paper and making sure it looks like it's filled. Now, I love the craft card form, but I was like, you know what? I want to put some distressing on it. So I'm taking some brushed corduroy and I'm going to distress my edges just to give it that vintagey feel. I was realizing this could actually be really fun on the postcard part too. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually make a postcard with it or if I'm going to use them in a card somehow. We'll figure it out. So now I am going to put on a piece of black cardstock. You make the world go round, and I'm going to do that in my white embossing powder from Recollections called Snow. I always like when I have something with the bright colors, I like to add black. I don't know why it is, but I feel like for some reason the black and the white just pop. Just put a little bit more because I missed a little bit. There we go. Now let me heat set that. And there that is. And now I'm going to trim that down. And I'm going to fishtail it. Alright, so while we deal with all these little pieces, which we'll deal with after, I'm going to adhere my craft foam to my panel that we just made with all the fun, colorful shapes on it. And I also am going to do the back, though my card form is not quite ready, so we're going to do that right now, because I want to put a sentiment in it. And I'm putting in the Enjoy the Ride. And I'm doing that in that same Danube. And I also cut a beautiful little piece of vellum, and this is a patterned vellum. It's really fun. It's got like a little circular checker pattern. And I'm going to put some Scotch craft adhesive square behind the back because I want that to be raised and almost floating. And then I'm also going to put some Scotch adhesive squares behind my little banner here. And I'm going to cut some little corners. That way my fishtails don't sink in. I put a lot of fun textures and patterns in this card because I want to show you don't always have to go solid. And when you have something like this, you can go fun because you know what? Carnivals are fun. Have fun with this card. Have fun with this kit. Let the textures and patterns mix together. It's really fun. So I figured that geometric orange was really fun. And now with that patterned vellum, even more fun. But we're going to add this little flag in the front, and it's going to just tie it all together. So in a way, this was a very simple card too. It was just mixing patterns and having fun with it. But to spice this up a bit, I also got some other new little gems in the store. They are a 3mm jelly gemstone. Yes, they're 3, they're super tiny, but they are perfect for fireworks. And I figured in the middle of the fireworks, you always get that really glowing boom. So I wanted to put that in the center of it, so that way it glowed almost and sparkled like a firework would. So I'm going to put it on the fireworks that are exposed. I'm going to do the yellow, which they call champagne, on the red, and then I'm going to do the beautiful cobalt on the blue ones. And I only had a couple blue ones, so I'm going to do those 2 that were exposed. And it just adds just enough sparkle to this card without being over the top. And there we go. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Enjoy the ride. All right, so on to card number 3, the last one for this part of the series. We're going to do an inlay card. So I cut my frame in a white piece of cardstock, and I also cut 2 more of the same thing in the red and the blue cardstock. And to do an inlay, the best way is to put some adhesive on the back of your frame and have it exposed. That way you don't have to try to stick it on a piece of paper with glue. It gets messy that way, and this way you can just stick the pieces on like a puzzle, and it's quick and easy. So I'm using a double stick paper from Recollections. There's other brands, including Stick It from Ken Oliver. I'll leave a link for that down below also. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the pieces in alternating colors of red and blue and stick them in the exposed adhesive areas. You can do this with pattern paper, you can do this with textured paper, you could do this with glitter. I've seen people do it with glitter, mica powders, mica flakes. I almost did a gold leaf pattern. It is a fun way to get some fun dimension and color to your card. So I am just, like I said, alternating the colors. And of course, my layout up there was nice and neat when I started. Of course, and as you pull the pieces, sometimes they dislodge and they get kind of dislodged and messed up. But that's okay. These pieces are big enough that I feel that it's quite easy to find what piece you're looking for. I have done intricate ones, and trying to keep them close to where they are is the key for those. But also for inlay, I do find finding pieces like this that are really big, chunky pieces is the best way to go. But this technique is awesome because you get some fun color and dimension in your card, and it makes it bright and beautiful. And for this one, it really made that red, white, and blue pop. So I'm just laying these pieces out onto that adhesive, and see how quick and easy this is. Like I said, it's super quick, super easy, so don't worry. All right, so we are going to now be almost done this last piece. And now I'm going to put the red center in the middle. I was going to do the blue, but I felt the red just popped more. And since I have it double stick, I don't have to add adhesive to this panel to stick it to my card. It's going to be super easy. So another plus to doing it that way, you don't have to use more adhesive. And if you don't have stick-it sheets, you can also probably even use some double stick tape. If you can do it, and you can do it in panels over the back of the panel. It's always a way to do that too. Now I'm going to take that happy birthday that has that neon sign look, and I'm going to use that inside my card. And it's going to be in that Paris Dusk by Memento ink. So we are going to also stamp the ticket for fun, ticket to fun, and apparently I'm having stamping dyslexia today because I messed up the first time, and then I realized I messed up the first time, and then I apparently couldn't stamp straight. So I messed up there, and I kept on overdoing it. I really was having a bad stamping day. So we're going to try this again. When you fail, just flip it over, do it again. And apparently a second time doesn't work either because I did the same thing. So hopefully the third time's a try and we'll get this going good. One more time. Push that down really good, and there we go. I only need one that works good. So what I'm going to do is something very similar to what I did in the last card. Is I'm going to take my colors and I'm going to paint with them on this ticket. So I'm going to move my panel piece so that I don't contaminate it in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going to now watercolor this little ticket. And I'm sorry I'm out of frame a little bit when I started this. I don't know why I didn't see my frame marks, but I apparently missed them. But I'll move this up. There we go. Now you can see it, which is okay because I got to touch up the other blue anyway because I kind of didn't get it as intense as I wanted it. I'm going to try to really put some blue and some red in this ticket. Go with that red, white, and blue theme. And come in with the red. I was going to leave this ticket white, but I'm going to actually come in with some fun distressing after I'm done painting this because I felt like maybe it was too white. And I wanted the ticket to look like it was fun and vintagey and like something you'd get a ticket at a fair. Ticket that you've held in your hand while you were waiting in line, you know, something like that. So I felt like it was just too white before that. So I'm going to just finish off painting with these inks again. And once again, I'm showing you, you can do more with these inks. You don't have to just use them in backgrounds. You can use them wherever you want. You can use them like a distress ink and paint with them. All right, and see, I'm going to come in here with the brush corduroy and just go around this kind of lightly until I feel like I've got it where I want. And now I'm going to cut out my ticket. And now my ticket also felt still a little less vintagey than I wanted. So I'm going to go back over again and just go the edges. All right, so now that we get everything all together, I am going to put this card together. So I'm going to put some Scotch squares on the back of my ticket. And then I'm also going to pull off the back of the adhesive sheet and put it right on top of my card form with that panel. And I had a little bit exposed, so I had to pull it out. There we go. Isn't that fun? And I'm going to put my ticket kind of kitty-cornered because tickets should be not straight. I want it to be kind of looking like it just fell into place. And I'm going to bring in some of the 3mm cobalt as well as my 4mm red rhinestones. And those are the jelly rhinestones still. And I'm going to add them to add some color and sparkle to this card. Whoops, and apparently I'm spilling it, my rhinestones everywhere. But we'll gather them up and we'll use them in their place. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. So I'm going to use my silhouette pickup tool and I'm going to add these. And I'm going to try to make sure I don't put the same color on the same background. That way they show. Because if I put red on red, they might blend in and they're not going to show as well. I mean, some of the areas that were in the white are not an issue. They can be either. And it's preference at that point. And I'm going to put a little bit more. I don't want to go over the top with it, but just want enough to add some dimension and sparkle to this card. Fun thing about this card, though, is it can go either way. It's very unisex. If you have a family member that has a 4th of July birthday, this would have been a perfect card because it's got that red, white, and blue, and it's got that fun birthday theme to it. There that is. Very simple, but very fun. And there you go. I hope you loved this video, and if you did, please check out our last upload, as well as a upload specially curated just for you. And like always, we ask you to visit our channel, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And also make sure to check out our website so you can sign up for our weekly newsletter, which is Crafty Sales, as well as our newsletter on the videos.